Welcome, everybody. I wanted to just spend a little time talking about the Mars flyby of 3i Atlas and the timeline we should expect over the next 72 hours or so. So, the Mars flyby of the interstellar comet 3i Atlas, which is also being designated as C/2025 N1, is scheduled for October 3rd, 2025, tomorrow, when it will pass approximately 30 million kilometers, which is zero point 0.2 astronomical units. Remember, astronomical unit is the distance between Earth and the Sun from the red planet. That's about 10 times closer than its approach to Earth. This event involves multiple NASA and ESA assets. ESA is European Space Agency. It's going to be NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter with the HiRISE camera, Curiosity and Perseverance rovers. They're going to be using navigation cameras that are going to be sky pointed for imaging. It's not ideal, but it's the best we've got. And then European Space Agency's Mars Express, which is a high resolution stereo camera, HRSC, and the ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter, which has the onboard CASIS instrument, which is about spectral analysis. And remember, just in a nutshell, spectral analysis is the absorption of light. Like we look at what light makes it through, and then we can figure out what was in the cloud, kind of stuff. And these observations are planned all the way from October 1st to October 7th. I didn't realize it was going to be a week-long observation fest, but that's what it is. It is my opinion that all these images are going to take a day or so for onboard processing, sorting, if there's any compression, anything that is having to do, let's sort it out and go, okay, here's all the good pictures, just basically for them to process and save. And then I'm thinking about one day to transmit. So I think the flyby is happening, basically early in the morning. 24 hours later, the images will be ready. 24 hours later, they'll start to the first ones will start to show up. So that probably advances my timeline. I was thinking it was going to be later Sunday. I'm now thinking by Sunday morning we could have first images. But timelines can vary because when you talk about the rovers like Curiosity and Perseverance, those typically compress and prioritize images immediately. Sometimes it just takes minutes, sometimes it takes hours during active observation windows, but a full sorting and selection for downlink happens in batches, right? And I don't know how they've got that set up for the batches. But the orbiters like MRO, they process faster, often within hours. So some of the stuff may not show up right away from the orbiters with their cameras pointed up. Now, data rates from Mars to Earth. This is fascinating to me, but it's basically looking like about 2 to 4 megabits per second. That's faster than I thought for the MRO during high priority events so basically NASA has this thing called the Deep Space Network. And there's a lot of data that's going back and forth. And so what they have to do is prioritize. They have to say, hey, we're going to turn everything off while we grab all these images. So they can do quick dumps of small image sets. But the rovers, they transmit, it's a lot slower. It can be at like a half a megabit per second. And that's via UHF relays to the orbiters, right? So imagine these rovers, they take their pictures, sort them, got them all ready. They start to transmit. They send to a UHF relay, which then uplinks it to the orbiters. A lot of conditions there, dust storms or where the orbiters are. So that whole thing to me puts an unknown variable of 12 to 24 hours on there. So total round trip light time is 12 and a half minutes. So the delays are operational, not propagation related. So there's some factors in there, right? The agencies, they're going to be probably going to want to do rapid sharing because any delays are going to be perceived as something's up. They're, what are they hiding? And but they have to do quality checks. They have to prep the press. Usually, that process is 1 to 3 days. I'm being optimistic when I say that we're going to see some images on Sunday. Maybe it's going to come earlier. I was thinking it was going to be at night. It could be that they want to have a press conference. If they're going to have a press conference, this is going to roll into Monday. This could roll into Tuesday if they want to present it all in a press conference. Or are they just going to release? Are they just going to release the images? We don't know. They haven't telegraphed. Government shut down, so there's no one even really just completely telling us what's going on yet. So based on the mission plans and past events, like sighting spring, those images, it was 36 hours. That's pretty quick. So MRO, the orbiter, HiRISE, its imaging window is from October 2nd to October 4th. The capture is probably going to happen on October 3rd because that's the closest approach. It takes about 4 to 12 hours to process on board and then 1 to 2 hours to transmit. So those could come in possibly October 4th for previews, right? And, maybe the 4th and the 5th, but the full resolution images probably won't make it into the 6th. See, that's another thing. There's going to be previews that are grainy, and then there's going to be the full resolution. That's how it goes. The Curiosity and Perseverance rovers, they're going to have a wider window. They're going to take pictures all the way to October 7th. But, again, the critical day is October 3rd, tomorrow, because of the flyby. And those process for 12 to 24 hours, and then they batch downlink. So under that same timeline, those could show up on Sunday. So the HiRISE could show up maybe Saturday night. The rovers will start showing up on Sunday, but it could stretch out all the way to Tuesday about the whole press conference and also about the resolution of the images, the previews versus the high-res ones. Now, the Mars Express and ExoMars and all that, that window is also October 1st to 7th, but the peak day is October 3rd. It's estimated they could take 24 hours just to process, and then they're going to transmit via ESA's network, which parallels NASA's speed. That'll probably be Sunday night. That'll probably be ones we see Sunday night. But if they do a press conference, it could be Monday. So what are the possibilities, in my opinion? The earliest likely release is October 4th, which is Saturday. These are going to be initial, raw, or quick look images from MRO HiRISE. As the highest resolution, it's the highest resolution asset. That's the one that I keep talking about. There's going to be 30 kilometers per pixel. It'll resolve the coma, but not the nucleus finally. These could appear on NASA's raw image feeds or social channels. With the government shut down, we don't know for sure, though. The first high-quality ones that'll come in, like those rovers cameras, are really, as we've seen, those are some really good images, right? Those could roll in as early as Sunday night, but that could also spill over into Monday. And some of those are going to be, from what I understand, it's going to be like rover selfies. So like you're going to see the rover chassis, and then you're going to see the comet in the background. Well, I think that's really cool. And then there's going to be, another element. I keep talking about the analysis, right? Where they're going to look at the spectrography. Oh, I have trouble with that word. The spectral analysis, that could take weeks. That's not easy data to break down. There are no major delays expected other than this USA government shutdown. That could slow things down, right? So maybe some early images Saturday, maybe some better images Sunday, but this could easily spill over in the next week because of the shutdown. These will not be ultra close-ups. The distant limits, the resolution to 10 to 30 kilometers per pixel, but they'll offer the best yet views of 3i Atlas's coma, the gas dust envelope, which is 26,000 kilometers wide, and the tail against Mars sky. HiRISE might distinguish the nucleus from the dust, maybe. I mean, we're really hoping for that. What I'm hoping for, take more than one image. From image to image, can you see if it's rotating or not? Rovers could capture it just as a bright streak. That we have to face that possibility. Even though they got really good cameras, it could just be a bright streak in the sky, and we can't tell anything from it. And we shouldn't say, oh, they're hiding something. Because I'm telling you, that's a real possibility that we just see a streak. It could be that HiRISE is the only really good shots we're going to get. For context, sighting Spring in 2014 yielded stunning orbiter images within days, showing similar distant details. So if we get the same quality as sighting Spring, maybe we're going to be happy. NASA's Mars sites, raw images at mars.nasa.gov. I would start checking there on Saturday. With the government shutdown, I don't know. ESA, European Space Agency, they have a portal. It's ESA.int, and the folder is going to be under Science Exploration. No one's expecting to see anything there until Sunday. And then there's live feeds from the Planetary Society. I think you're going to see a lot of this on social media. I think there's going to be real-time announcements. I would just be watching everything. If delays occur, it's probably going to be operational. It's a lot to do with this government shutdown, but it's very exciting times. I just wanted to kind of give you a timeline of what I'm expecting, when I'm expecting it. And this is our prime chance to study an interstellar relic up close as we can see it, as close as we were prepared for it. If any new updates drop, I will drop another video. Just wanted to give you this context, and we'll see what happens as far as how good the images are and when they finally get to us.